Hey friends, welcome back to another edition of EdTech Live. Thanks for joining me. This is kind of a special edition of EdTech Live, and I'll explain that in a little bit. Love to know where you are joining us from. Say hello in the chat and drop a link. It's always cool to know that we can reach people from around the world. So welcome. Today, I actually have a co-host with me. I'd like to introduce you to Betsy Winter. Hey, Betsy. Betsy, why don't
Hi,
you,
I'm Betsy Winter.
Yeah, tell everybody a little bit about yourself and what you do.
For the last 10 years, I actually taught junior high and high school, taught math, technology. But just last year, I started as an instructional technology specialist at Monroe County ISD, and I'm loving every minute of it. I'm enjoying we're doing our EdTech on the River Raisin today, our EdTech conference, and professional learning for teachers and being able to work with teachers is wonderful. So I'm really enjoying it.
So today is a special edition of EdTech Live because Betsy has been organizing, as she said, the EdTech on the River Raisin conference. It's happened in the past. This year it's virtual, as many conferences are. So this morning I gave the opening keynote. We did a couple of breakout sessions, and right now all the conference attendees are on lunch, probably snacking and eating lunch while they listen to us chat. We invited the registrants from the conference to submit various EdTech questions. We've been collecting those all morning, and we're going to start by answering those in a little bit. Betsy, why don't you say a little bit more about the conference and, maybe just mention Monroe. Not everybody is from Michigan, so they may not understand, the ISDs and how that works here. But, just promote the good work that you're doing.
So Monroe County ISD is the intermediate school district. We have 9 public school districts that we work with. So I'm able to go out and work with those teachers in those districts, helping them with technology, planning professional learning. And in the past, my predecessor had this EdTech conference yearly. I think she did it for 3 years or so, and obviously didn't have one last year with the circumstances. But really, it's just a time for us to get together, talk about EdTech. I was able to get teachers from throughout the county, from some of the different districts, to run some sessions for us so they can share what they know and share their knowledge with other educators, because it's always fun learning from your peers. So having that opportunity and that platform to do that is really nice. And I think so far the sessions seem to be going really well. So I hope they're taking a lot away from all of that. So
yeah, very good.
Yep.
So
and for those of you that don't know, Monroe is kind of on the Michigan-Ohio border, so we're pretty close to Ohio there.
Yeah, get your come on, Betsy.
Little map out.
Just south of Detroit.
Yep.
So those of you who are from Michigan are probably aware that we had some huge thunderstorms roll through yesterday. Neither Betsy or myself are where we are supposed to be currently. I am presenting from a hotel that has power. And Betsy, where are you located?
So I'm actually at my mother and father-in-law's house. My boys are all here with me as well. The ISD is closed down due to power outage. And as John said, I don't have power at my house. So we found a different means to do it. And here we are.
Making it happen. Yeah. Well, we've got some friends joining us. Give some shout outs here. Hey, Resa, checking in. Resa's been attending the conference. My friend Karen as well. Karen did a couple of sessions this morning also. And Mandy from Dundee. Mandy, I've had a chance to work with the Dundee schools a couple of times. So welcome. Great to have you guys and many others checking in on Facebook, YouTube, and over on Twitter. All right. Well, Betsy, we're here to chat about some EdTech. So the special EdTech River Raisin edition. And we got quite a few questions. How about I take the first one and take the second one? We'll just kind of alternate from there. I'm not even sure which ones are on here, but we'll take a look. All right. Oh, this is a good one. Robert submitted this one. Betsy, I'm going to expect an answer from you as well. There are a gazillion, that's a very precise number, EdTech tools out there. And it can be quite overwhelming to, try to, how many should I use? Am I missing out by not using this one or that one? So Robert, this is a tough question. I've been thinking about it. I am going to go with my favorite EdTech tool. If I had to pick one, I would pick Screencastify. I use it in so many different ways. I use it personally, professionally. I use it with teachers. I use it with students. It's just such a versatile tool. Without it, I would be in trouble. And it's a shameless plug because I did a whole breakout session on Screencastify earlier today. So that's one of my favorites, Screencastify. That's what it would be for me. Betsy, what about you?
That answer doesn't surprise me. I was kind of leaning towards that. My all-time favorite, just because it's so versatile, is Google Slides. I mean, the amount of things that you can do with Google Slides is amazing. From collaboration. I mean, it's not just a presentation tool. Like, it literally can do just about anything you want it to do, from Venn diagrams to making backgrounds not move and students rearranging things to collaboration. I mean, it's crazy how much it can do.
I think that's an excellent choice. I was, Google Slides is kind of the Swiss Army knife of Google Drive. Good deal. Awesome. Cool. Good answer. Got a couple of responses from the crowd as well. Karen says Cami. That's a good choice. That's a good choice as well. If you're interested, let us know in the chat. What would, if you were stuck on a deserted island with only one EdTech tool, what would you pick?
Cami's
all right,
a good
Betsy.
One. That's a good choice.
Let's go. Betsy, what do we got next? What's the next question?
Let me
put it
I don't know.
Whoops.
Yeah, you put it up there.
There we go. Number 2.
Oh, it's not loading. There it is. Okay. So an easy way to slimline, edit, manage Google Drives or Docs.
This is a common question.
Emojis. Emojis and colors are my 2 biggest suggestions. Ever since John showed me how to do emojis inside of everything, I use them all the time, including my calendar. Put little soccer balls for soccer and things. But really just, it kind of depends on the person. I will tell you that I do not have any files floating around in my Google Drive. Everything has a home. It has a folder. Color coding and emojis is really the way that I go with that. So.
Yep. So I do the same. I've got emojis for my most frequent. Whoops. Sorry, you guys can't see that. Emojis for my most frequently used files, colors. I have seen some elementary teachers do some incredible things with color coordinating in Google Docs. I have not ascended to the heights of that level of organization, but it's very impressive. I'm going to add one additional tip. This is a pretty new one. I'm still kind of adjusting to it. So one of the challenges that a lot of teachers are dealing with is we've got like these 3 areas of Google Drive now. You've got My Drive, which is your stuff. You've got Shared Drive, which all the stuff people give you. And then a lot of districts are adopting the Shared Drive, which is kind of like the district resources. Betsy, do you use that in Monroe? Do you guys use the Shared Drive?
We do a little bit. We have some of our PD stuff that's there and some other things for our different groups. Yeah. Yep.
These 3 areas, there's some limitations to how you can combine them. So for example, if your principal shares a resource in a shared drive, you can't put those files into a personal folder, depending on what permissions are set. So I want to show you this new area of Drive. It's right here, right under the new button. It's called Priority. And when we go into Priority, you have this feature here called a workspace. And the idea is that you can create a workspace on, a special topic and then add files from shared with me, my drive, shared, like many, many different locations into this workspace for easy access. And so if you're struggling because this file's in this folder and this folder and you can't move them where you want to go, this priority option is an interesting one to consider. So like I have this one here, important files. These are kind of all scattered around my Drive account. Rather than having to remember where I put them, I'll just stick them in this priority page for easy access. So yeah, that's relatively new. It hasn't been around for too long. Yeah, Karen is in on priority as well. So, have you ever used the priority page, Betsy?
I have not. Nope, not yet.
I'm still adjusting my habits. I kind of integrating a new feature takes some time.
Yes.
So it's a good one. Cool. All right, let's see what's next on the question list. So Mandy, I hope that was a helpful. Got a couple of options for you. Mandy, just know that the struggle is real, and you're never really done organizing your Google Drive account. You're always working on it. Okay, this is a tough one. I saw this one earlier. Been thinking about this. So this is from Brandy. She teaches special education. Her students like technology. They're tech savvy, but she has a very unique classroom setting. What type of suggestions can we give her for giving her students real, authentic projects, things that they can manage, but also that feel interesting, engaging, etc. This is a tricky one for sure. Betsy, what do you think? Any suggestions for Brandy?
I know I've talked with Brandy a few different times throughout the past year. I know she's done some drag and drop activities. She used Mote to do some spelling activities. So she would have a line and then the Mote, and they would listen to it and write it out. So I do know she's incorporating those technology aspects in there. What are some of your thoughts?
Mote is a great one. Yeah, I like that. Mote has become a very, very popular tool. If you're not familiar, it's a free Chrome extension that allows you to add verbal messages into Google Docs, slides, sheets, classroom, just in the regular comment box. That's good. I was also thinking audio. Audio, I think, is an underutilized EdTech genre tool. Everybody likes to focus on video. Video is cool, but video is a ton of work. Because you have both the verbal and the visual, it doubles the amount of work it takes to create it. And so focusing on audio, I think, could be interesting. I was thinking that Brandy might be able to incorporate some very basic, I'm going to call it podcasting, even though it may not be an actual podcast, but having students read, do dramatic readings, or record their thoughts, especially if writing, if fine motor controls or typing is a challenge, verbally recording things might be a nice accommodation. They can still communicate their thoughts without the barrier of the keyboard or the pen and the paper. And Mote can do that. I use a very simple tool for recording audio. I think I've shared it before. It's called 123apps.com. It's 100% free. There's no login. There's no privacy issues. It just 123apps.com, and they have some really great audio recording tools. So just go to voice recorder, and you're ready to go. It requires very little advanced preparation. There's nothing to install, download, etc. It's just ready to go. Cool. All right. Well done. Let's see who's next up. Okay, we got another kind of pedagogy question. This one from Jamie. Jamie's saying fun ideas for small group lessons. So Jamie just was teaching virtually. They were using Jamboard. Trying to think about other ways to use Google when she only has 20 to 30 minutes face-to-face. So short class periods, face-to-face instruction. I've got an idea. I'm going to pull it up. Jamie, Betsy, any thoughts for Jamie here?
Nope. Go ahead.
So there's an interesting. I learned about this from Alice Keeler, a great math teacher.
She does some amazing things.
She's very creative. There is a interesting math concept called open middle. And there's a website, just openmiddle.com. Let me see if I find my example. Perfect. So open middle is just this general idea that rather than giving students a problem to solve, and everybody gets the same problem and they all are supposed to get the same answer, open middle is more along the lines of, I'm going to say, a Sudoku puzzle, where there's potentially many solutions to a problem, and you can group students into small groups of 2 or 3. And then they can work on this problem and solve it. In Jamboard, you don't have to use Jamboard, but Jamboard works really well. So let me show you an example. This one is from Alice Keeler, so full credit to her. Perfect. So here's an example. You don't actually give students the problem. You say, make a true statement. Okay, so they have numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4 through 9, and then they have to fill in. This happens to be a decimal. And so they are simply going to be dragging the numbers up here, and they have to rearrange them until the first thing minus the second thing equals the third thing. And there's potentially multiple solutions to this. It requires teamwork, problem solving, and you can have a great discussion when several groups come up with different examples. Jamboard works really well for this. We're just using the sticky note feature and dragging them up. That way you can constantly be remixing it. Openmiddle.com has a massive library of the actual problem. So these are arranged by grade level. You just go in here and they'll give you some examples, and then you would just build that in Jamboard for your students to work on. Varying levels of complexity, different solutions, things like that. So yeah, I don't know what you think about that idea, but that's something you can consider. So thanks to Jamie for dropping that question in. Betsy, have you ever heard of that open middle idea?
No, I haven't. That's the first time. I'll have to check it out.
Again, I learned about it from someone else as well. I'm not a math teacher, so I think it's been around for a long time. It's not exactly a new thing, but Alice kind of implemented it into Jamboard, which I thought was creative. All right, well, I got to do this question here because it was asked several times. A couple of people mentioned it, and I get this one a lot. It is very helpful. So the question is, how do you zoom in and out during your presentations? And so what they're talking about is this. So when I can, zoom in on a word or a portion of my screen. I use a Chromebook. I'm presenting from a Chromebook, and this is a Chrome accessibility feature. Okay, now this is different than the old school, put that back up again, Control plus, Control minus, which frankly does not work very well because you don't have any control over where the screen goes. It just gets bigger or smaller. The screen zoom feature, it works on a Chromebook. I know it works on a Mac. I think it will work on a PC, but I haven't tried it. So on a Chromebook and Mac, it's very similar. what I have to do is go into my accessibility settings, and I turn on the feature called full screen magnifier. Now, you can't see, but with my hands, I hold down the Control and the Alt key, and then I'm sliding with my fingers, like scrolling, and that's how it zooms in and out on the screen. So I go here, like if I want to zoom in on the share button, I put my mouse over top of the share button, hold down Control and Alt, scroll up, and then it zooms in wherever my mouse is currently at. So it gives me control to focus on a very specific area of the screen. You can do this on Mac as well. It's the same thing. You just go into your accessibility settings, and there, I think it's called screen magnifier or screen zoom, something like that. And it works the same way. I think it's Command Alt on a Mac, and it works. I'm guessing PCs have it. You would have to go into your accessibility settings and mess around. You're just looking for screen zoom, screen magnifier, or something like that, and try it out. It's very, very useful if you're doing any technology instruction. So if you're doing a virtual call like this, I mean, the screen is not that big. So the fact that I can say, hey, you're looking for this icon. If you're teaching in person in your classroom and you're projecting your screen up in front of the class, a kid in the back is going to have a really hard time seeing, this button unless you zoom in on it. It does take some time to get used to do that. Like you have to practice it. It does not come. Yeah, you have to practice it for a long time. Good. Kriston is confirming. She said that she can do that on her Dell. So it's good. Kriston, I'm assuming you're on a PC, and Karen's checking for us as well. Good deal. Betsy, what do you typically use? What kind of computer?
I've got a Dell just from work.
Okay. Yeah. And have you ever looked to see if you can do like the screen zoom thing?
I'm currently magnified right now, and I don't know how to undo it.
Yeah. Correct. Yes. It's easy to zoom in and forget how to zoom out.
Yes. So.
All right. Kriston has confirmed. Kriston, you need to help Betsy figure out how to unzoom her computer. So if you figure that out, let us know.
Let me know.
Betsy, do you have any thoughts on the second part of this question here? Mouse and pointer visibility options. Have you ever played around with those settings?
There was one, I can't remember it now off the top of my head, where you could change the pointer to different things. But I also know there's a setting usually in your computer that will allow you to do that as well.
Yeah, there's a couple, like on a Chromebook, same process. If I go into my accessibility settings, there is, I gotta scroll down, large cursor and highlight. So I will turn that one on, even in class. Just that red line, helps a lot. And that shows up on Zoom and Google Meet as well. And then there's a Chrome extension. The students do it. It drives me nuts, where you can change your mouse cursor into like a pizza and a cat and all kinds of crazy things. I forget what the name of it is. I tried it once. I'm like, I can't handle this. I'm out.
No.
Someone probably knows. If you're watching the live stream and you know the name of that extension, drop it in the chat so we can grab it. I'm super old school. I can't even handle the big mouse. It drives me crazy. I gotta turn it off.
I can't either. The junior high kids all the time had these huge all these other sorts of things. So I was like, I'm good.
Got it. All right, that's a good one. Cool. I think we've got just a couple more. We're almost out of time. So we've got another question here. Is another kind of very broad one. What new EdTech or Google thing have you learned about that you're excited about? This is from Resa Waldecker. Google's rolled out a lot of new things over the last few months. I'm going to
I really like the
stall
Google
and
Docs
let
update.
Betsy answer this first. Yes.
I like a lot of the new Google Doc updates that they've done. And I know with Google Meet, they've made it feel a lot more Zoom-like. So I like a lot of the new updates from Google. They've been busy.
Yeah, that is a great choice. The new features of Google Docs, and I think I did a whole live video on it. So they call it the Smart Canvas, which allows you to, if you just type the @ symbol in a Google document, you can now tag people, documents, and calendar events inside of a document. So some of you have been using the old school, you can tag people in a comment. We've been doing that for years. But now you can do that in the document itself, which really makes it interesting for like hyperdocs. Because now I don't have to just put a hyperlink. I can actually embed a little clickable image of the document. I can tag students. If I'm doing a group project, I can tag, you are responsible for this thing. You are responsible for that thing. I can tag them right in the document. These are all called smart chips. And I agree. They have some great potential. I think Google's going to expand smart chips to other non-Google things at some point. I mean, wouldn't it be amazing if you could tag a Kahoot game or an Ed puzzle activity, a Google Classroom assignment, tag those inside of your documents as well. That would, really make them versatile for choice boards, hyperdocs, interactive notebooks, those types of things. Good deal. We've got lots of good suggestions here as well. Jennifer giving a shout out to Pear Deck.
Yep.
Definitely a great tool. Pear Deck was kind of quiet, but they actually just got acquired by GoGuardian. So Pear Deck is actually part of the GoGuardian suite of tools now, which is an interesting development. Same product, works the same way. And congratulations to them. And Karen's excited about the checklists featuring Google Docs. That's a very nice one as well. Yes, be able to tag people and integrate that into Google Tasks will be a good option. Cool.
I like being able to take a Google Keep note and change it into a doc. That's handy.
Yeah, drag it in. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Now, the one feature I am interested in, but it's not actually live yet, is add-ons for Google Classroom. So Google has teased that. They've shared a little bit about it, but that looks to be very promising. I think they're starting with, I think it's 8 or 9 EdTech applications currently. I think IXL Math. I want to say Quizlet. I think Ed Puzzle, Kahoot are some of them. And those applications, as an add-on, will run inside of Google Classroom. So students won't be going out to a separate site. It'll run right inside Classroom itself, which I haven't seen it, so I don't know how it works. But looks interesting. Google Classroom keeps becoming increasingly robust and more interesting to use. Good. Cool. Well, I think we hit most of the questions. Good job, Betsy. Thanks for being my co-host today.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. That was fun.
So yeah, Betsy, where can people want to connect with you? How can they do that? Blog, website, Twitter, anything you want to share?
Yeah, I have our ISD website that I can send the link out to, and then I also have my email. You can reach me via email, and a lot of the stuff's linked in my Google site. So, is there a way can I send that to you?
Yeah, if you just drop it in the chat, or yes, if you send it to me, I can drop it in the chat for everyone.
Perfect. And then I will get my Google site link for you.
Yeah, drop that in. Got it. Thanks, everybody, for hanging out with us on a Thursday afternoon. If you're in Michigan, I hope your power comes on soon and you're not impacted by the weather. Those of you who are getting ready to head back to the classroom, or perhaps this is your first week of class, welcome back, and I wish you a great school year. I'm going to keep the EdTech tips coming. You can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and I'll do my best to give you practical ideas and strategies you can use in your classroom every day. Thanks for hanging out with Betsy and I. We'll see you next time for EdTech Live.
All right. Thank you.